Om Sahana Vavatu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Somebody was going to sing. Sit on a chair. Very nice. My mind is giving a constant running commentary on everyone and everything around. How can I stop being critical of everything, everyone, and see Brahman everywhere? Is there a hack? Yes, sure there is. Yeah. First, see the running commentary itself as Brahman. That you have to do first. That this commentary, this running commentary itself is Ishvara in a sense. Why? Because the mind is what? Created by who? Ishvara. And so, watching the mind helps. Watching the mind not with being self-critical. That doesn't help. That does not help at all. Watching the mind with kindness, if possible with joy. Oh, here I go again, here this goes again, this mind is going again. Keeping on giving what? Commentary, running commentary it's giving. So, we have to be able to see life as fun. And to do that, you have to see yourself as fun. When you are able to laugh at yourself, life becomes imminently more joyous, more joyful. That is really the hack. And it's the truth also. Because life is fun. Life is very light. And many times, when those problems are facing somebody else, I can be light about it. I can even advise the other person. In the Panchadashi, 4th chapter, such a kind of a incident is narrated. 2 young men from the same village have gone to the city in search of work. And in those days, no email, no SMS, nothing. You just have to wait for some news person to come, somebody to come from there and give the news. And one day bad news comes. Your son, one of the 2 boys who grew up together, your son is dead. And that family is devastated. Such a young boy just started his life. What is the point? And they are just devastated. And then the other family, neighbors, very close friends, almost like family, the boys grew up together. They quote verses from the Gita. They pat them on the back and say, yes, it is very difficult. It's a horrible thing to have happened. But take heart. The soul goes on, only the body dies, etc. Then another person from the city comes and says, yes, one boy has died. It's not their boy, it is your boy. Then the shoe is on the other foot. Correct? And then who turns completely helpless and who is a mess? This particular family who was 2 minutes ago quoting verses from the Bhagavad Gita and consoling the other family, now they are a wreck and a mess. And the other family is now consoling them with the same verses from the Bhagavad Gita. So this goes to show how arbitrary the mind is and how just that one small word makes a difference. It is not Devadatta who died, it is Yajnadatta who died. And so, like this, the mind has a lot of ownership. The mind has ownership with regard to many things. And therefore, it criticizes, it owns up things, it does a lot of mischief. So this ownership is given up in the light of meditation. in the light of understanding Vedanta also, that first of all, this is how the mind is. We have to accept that. This is how the mind is. Then the next thing to do is give the mind back to Ishvara. Just say that, what kind of a mind you have given me? It's like Swiss cheese, full of holes. Why I don't want this mind? Take it back. You can say that. I give you back this mind. Since you are the creator of all minds, give me a mind that is more stable, has more the ability to has thairya, steadfastness, nishchalata, the ability to focus, and that which is shuddha. Shuddha means it is free and clear of judgment. So the next thing one can do is to pray, to let that mind go and ask for it, the thinking itself, to be corrected. The third thing to do, and this is of course a lot deeper work, is to say that this inner critique, let us go down the rabbit hole of when it was born. There is an inner cop in the heart with a little whistle. The inner child has become dressed as a policeman or a policewoman. And policing everybody and everything means what? That means that one is really hard on oneself. And one is hard on others too. If you are hard on others, you are probably 10 times as hard on yourself. And so, therefore, we have to see that we can do some upashamana to this inner cop. This inner cop needs a hug. It needs to be told to not be so hyper vigilant and police itself and others. It needs to be told that it is safe. It needs to be told that it is free. It needs to be told that nothing is going to happen. Let anybody do anything, you are okay. And in slowly you can work with it. It's not a quick hack. The quick hack is to convert the mind itself into prayer and convert the mind itself to prayer. And then see Brahman everywhere. Yeah, Brahman is everywhere. Even your complaint is Brahman. First Ishvara is the complaint, and that will take care of it. Is it natural for a person to turn an introvert after coming in contact for knowledge? Is dispassion, detachment okay? How to live in the world expecting a transaction? Yeah, dispassion is, I talked about this today, we discussed this. Maybe that's why the question has come, because this topic was talked about earlier. The dispassion is here and the engagement is out there. Engagement is also here, but you drop all the thoughts, you drop everything, you are with yourself. As soon as, same goes for the other question also. As soon as that critical thought arises, you carry a pocket full of full stops. You put a full stop to that thought. Don't let it go on. Oh, but, full stop. But I want to complete this sentence, full stop. No, there is lot of masala here. This person has really goofed up big time. They really need to be full stop. Oh, but you should never put a full stop in the middle of the sentence. Full stop. Carry a bag full of full stops. Full stop means stop thinking about it fully. That's what it means. Full stop means the next thought, next sentence, not this anymore. And same thing here also is that the introversion, it's not really introversion, it is just being with oneself, that is for oneself. But when the person knows that the self of the other is also what? Your own self, there is nothing to turn away from, there is nothing to turn towards. It's all just one. But in the time, but this is not the question. The question is not after one becomes a jnani, while one is becoming a jnani, on the way to jnanihood, what do we do? What do we do when we see other people? Duck under a tree. Yeah, that's what you do. You can be polite, you don't have to be rude, you don't have to be obnoxious, you don't have to be condescending. Oh, you want to talk, is it? Well, I have really grown. I have grown out of all this. And not like that. You can talk. And if you can always say, I'd like to be by myself, I'd like to go to the temple, I'd like to meditate. Or right in the beginning you say, I only have about half an hour to spend with you. Is that okay? You negotiate that in the beginning. I can spend half an hour, I can spend 1 hour, after that I have things to do. You can do that. Even otherwise in life is all a series of negotiations anyway. So you can negotiate. Yes, it is natural to feel asanga and to feel dispassion is natural. And then alongside that, what else is natural? Neither I am interested in Vedanta nor am I interested in the world. That is also natural. Yeah. I am stuck in between. So slowly, you come on the side of Vedanta. That will help. And then what else? For grihasthas, apart from doing Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasana, what else can we do regularly to move from knowing Brahman to being Brahman? First thing you can do is to understand that knowing Brahman is being Brahman. Brahmavit Brahmaiva Bhavati. This is exactly what Mundakopanishad says. Mundakopanishad says exactly that. The knower of Brahman is Brahman. Bhavati here doesn't mean becomes Brahman, is Brahman. Here also in this, what are we studying? Atma Bodha. There was one, what is that sentence? Brahmara Kitavat. Brahmara Kitavat means what? The small worm that is dragged in to pack the eggs so that the eggs will grow, to pack the mouth of the wasp's nest. Some people say it even lays eggs in the worm. Whatever it does, doesn't matter. The worm is collateral damage, okay? And then the worm is seen to be taken in, the wasp doesn't come out except it seems to be pricking the worm, and then after that what comes out? Worm doesn't come out. Baby wasp comes out. Correct? And so here also this kind of an abhyasa is needed. Frequent injections. The wasp is what? Brahma Vidya. And the worm is this jiva who says, I feel lowly, I feel small. It needs to be injected, not with venom, with Mahavakya. So Mahavakya injection, bar lagatar for 3 years, 3.5 years in a row. What happens? And then I understand I am Brahman. But of course the question is, what about grihasthas? And grihastha means I am at home, I have duties. You put as though after every word. I am as though going back home. I am as though having duties. I am as though fulfilling roles. This is only possible when you know who you are. Oh, but I don't know who I am, that's the problem. Yes, you may not know I am Brahman, but you have to forge a bridge identity, and that bridge identity is that of a devotee. You have to have a firm practice of devotion. That devotion has to be part of life. It has to be forged. The so-called alienation between Jiva and Ishvara is forged through the bridge of devoteehood, cultivating devotion. That should be the primary identity. My primary identity is that of a devotee. The devotee is the son, devotee is the daughter, devotee son, devotee employer, devotee employee, devotee spouse, devotee mother, devotee father. What is common in all this? Devotee, that is my identity. So if the devotee is going around doing the roles, then there is no disappointment. Disappointment is given to Ishvara immediately. Because between the role and the person there is space. Just like between the actor, very rich actor in Hollywood, Bollywood, Sandalwood, whatever wood. So, the very rich actor is playing the role of a begging person. And he cries. Even without artificial tears, he cries. Very sad. Says, oh, I haven't eaten in 3 days. Truth is, he has overeaten. But still, he can pull off this and say, I am not eaten anything. Please help me. I am so hungry. Please help. And the doors are being shut in his face. This is his role. Now, who is the beggar? Actor. What is the body of the beggar? Body of the actor. What is the mind of the beggar? Mind of the actor. The whole beggar is not separate from the actor, correct? Is the actor the beggar? No. That's the famous Swamiji's equation. B is A, beggar is actor, but A is not B. Interesting equation. So the beggar, the whole beggar is nothing but the actor. Is the actor a beggar? Absolutely not. He knows he can throw off these clothes. He knows he can go to his house somewhere on top of a hill in Hollywood somewhere, Beverly Hills, and then he can drink something nice and not worry about this role, not worry about the cast, the crew, nothing. He can just relax with his family. He knows very well that inner space is there. Even while he is crying for his roti or bread, whatever he is crying for, in the role, while playing the role, he is what thinking? Ooh, again I am crying without tears, without needing anything. Maybe an Oscar is coming my way. Maybe an Oscar is coming my way. When is he thinking? While he is begging, he is thinking. That means there is that inner space. So too in the world, whatever you do is Brahman playing a role. But I don't know I am Brahman, I don't know I am Ishvara. Okay. You know you are a devotee, that's easy. Forge the devotion, forge that identity, and then understand that when the beggar, in this example, goes to beg, cries, door is shut in his face. Is the door shutting in the face of the actor or the beggar? Beggar. Yeah. Actor, nobody will shut the door. They will say, oh, please come in, give me your autograph. It's very clear. Who is the door being shut at? Beggar. But we have already determined what? Actor is not beggar. Therefore, the problems of the role, the pains and sorrows of the role belong to who? beggar. The problems belong to the role, not to the person playing the role. But if I don't know who I am, I will mistake myself to be the role. If I know who I am, if I forge myself as a devotee, my identity is forged as a devotee, then devotee son, devotee daughter, devotee mother, devotee father, devotee everything, and then so therefore what? Then I am not the one being touched. The role is performed, and then the role is what? Given up. That's all. So I go from role to role, and each role carries certain responsibilities, certain expectations, certain disappointments, certain joys. All that belongs to the role. I, the person, is free. So we have to have a rich internal life of prayer and remembering always that one is a devotee playing many, many roles. The problems belong to who? Role, not to the person. Between the role and the person, there is a cognitive distance. Role is person, person is much more than the role. This we have to remember. You told the Buddhist story. If a big tree falls, there is no sound. I didn't say there is no sound. I just said, is there a sound? That is how they will say. They will not come to conclusions. Is it that there is no listener, there is no sound, no seer means no seeing? Yes, exactly. You got it. So, we can have two kinds of pakshas. Redwood tree falls in the forest. Is there a sound? We can be quick to say there is no sound. Why? Nothing. There is no listener. Or we can say, of course. Physicists will say, yes, there will be a sound, because the velocity with which the tree falls and then the size of the tree determines the crashing and whatever is there on the forest bed determines the number of decibels of sound that is created. This is just a physical fact. And Vedanta will say, is the sound a sound without a pair of ears? Is the sound a sound is it sound to say that there is a sound if there are no ears and there is no person behind the ears to say, I heard the sound? So therefore, we would say that it's as good as the sound not being there. Sound may be made, but what use is the sound which is not heard? Can what is not heard be called a sound? Then, Brahman resides in the heart of all sentient beings and non-sentient things also? Yes. And this body, mind, sense complex as though manifest in Brahman, I would not say in or on Brahman, as Brahman. So it is Brahman through and through, and this apparent world is appearing on it. Yeah, sure. Again, the words on it, we don't, even the Vedanta texts use it. Brahmani, tasmat Brahmani te sthitaha. Sarve bhutani. Like this, even the texts use it. But our understanding should be it's not in or on or on top of. Again, then we will fall very sneakily, we will slip into Dvaita. How will we slip into Dvaita? We will slip into Dvaita because there is Ashraya and Ashrita. The world here, in my right hand, world, and then left hand, Brahman. World is on top of Brahman. Brahman is underneath the world. And sometimes they say substratum. All these words very careful. Adhishthana, that is good, because most people don't know the meaning. That's why it's nice to have the word Adhishthana. Adhi plus tha, adhitishtati. That's why it is, called substratum, translated as substratum. But it's the substance, not the substratum. Brahman is the substance of the whole world, so there is no in, off, on. There are no two things. This we have to take away from our understanding fully, because in and through each and everything, what is there is Brahman. What matters is Brahman. So the Jagat is non-separate from Brahman. That's a better way of looking at it than the Jagat resting in or on top of Brahman. Okay? That's a healthier way of looking at it. One more song you wanted to sing, right? Come.
Brahmananda Valley, which we all very well know. So I would encourage each one of you to sing along or after with me. Brahman is infinite conscious being. Atman is infinite conscious being. I am infinite conscious being. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman. Satyam Brahman. Jnanam Brahman. Anantam Brahman. Anantam Brahman. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman. Satyam Brahman. Jnanam Brahman. Anantam Brahman. Anantam Brahman. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman. Satyam Brahman. Jnanam Brahman. Anantam Brahman. Anantam Brahman. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman.
It was said that Atma experiences everything without being experiencer, knows without being a knower. It is not clear to me, please explain. Elsewhere, I also read Anubhava Margena Atma. Please explain. Yeah, experiences everything, Without, we see the word experiencer itself brings in duality. Does it not? Say yes, even if you want to say no. Yeah. How does it bring in duality? It brings in duality because when I say experiencer, you are looking for, okay, if you are an experiencer, what are you experiencing? There is an apeksha, an expectancy that on the other side, what will be there? Experience. Experiencer, an agent of the experience. So if I have agency, that means that there will be something else which is a object of the experience. Then of course we can bring in the third triputi also. What is that? Means of experiencing. How did you experience? Did you see? Did you hear? What did you do? So experiencer brings in experience. So if Atma is an experiencer, that means what? It can only experience one thing at a time. Correct? Just like all of us. And even though we say we know how to multitask, it's really doing many things badly. That's called multitasking. Doing many things badly all at once. That is the definition of multitasking. So even though we say we multitask, but really we can only do one thing at a time. If you're seeing something, you can't see something else at the same time. If you're experiencing one thing, then the other thing is gone. That's why everybody has FOMO. What is FOMO? Everybody knows that because everybody has that. So, fear of missing out. Oh my God, what to choose, what to choose, what to choose. Should I go to the 3 months course? Or should I go to a movie? But why are you worried? How is this even a choice? No, because today is the last day to apply. And the movie, it's the last day it's going to be running. It's the last show. What shall I do? This kind of a conflict is there. What to experience? When two experiences are there simultaneously, I get into a panic. The person gets into a panic because what to experience, what to leave out, this becomes a very difficult decision. And sometimes one defaults. Let me just go to bed instead, and in the morning everything will be taken care of by default. People are in the default mode because they know all too well, if I am the experiencer, there will be some flaw. I will choose wrongly, I will choose badly, I will make some wrong problems, and then therefore I will be left hanging. You see how many problems the status of experiencer has? And now you want Atma also to become an experiencer? No. Thank God. The ahankara falls flat on its face repeatedly. Why? Because it is an experiencer. Bhokta. Even bigger than karta is bhokta. Even in the Panchakosha, what is there? First, what is there? Annamaya. Pervading Annamaya, bigger than Annamaya, more Sukshma than Annamaya is what? Pranamaya. Bigger than Annamaya, more Sukshma than Annamaya, more pervading than, Pranamaya is what? Manomaya. Bigger than Manomaya, more subtle than Manomaya, more pervasive than Manomaya is what? Vijnanamaya. You can do the same thing. And then finally what? Anandamaya. Vijnanamaya karta. Karta is overpowered by more sukshma role, which is that of more pervasive, more sukshma, less easier to objectify bhokta. No, karta is more important. If you say that, I will say, what for is your karma? Why are you doing what you are doing? I want karma phala. Bhogaya karma. You do karma for the sake of what? Experiencing. You want to become an experiencer, and then that experiencer role leads one immediately to grief. That's what it is. I am karta makes one guilty. I am bhokta makes one what? Hurt. Yeah. Hurt and guilt together, this karta bhokta do that. Karta bhokta, roles assigned to the ahankara, roles taken on by the ahankara, roles, identification, etc., all taken on by the ahankara, not by the I. The I is free of kartritvam and bhoktritvam. That's why Atma is not an experiencer. And then, even though it experiences everything, because experiencing everything is its nature, it reveals everything, it experiences everything, it is anubhuti swarupa, and knows everything without being a knower. Same thing. If you say I am a knower, then your knowledge is finite. If you say I am an experiencer, then you are not a doer, then you are not a thinker. So this is why it is Atma is not a knower. Atma is not a experiencer, because as soon as this title comes, along with them comes finitude. Anubhava margena. I don't know, I don't understand that, but if you are thinking Anubhava is a marga to know the Atma, that is not correct, because Anubhava is there all the time. Right now, you are experiencing the Atma alone. In the ashram, we prostrate to you several times a day, even before prasad. I understand the spirit behind it is reverence, but I wonder, is there a traditional guideline or boundary for how often to prostrate, so that it doesn't become mechanical and lose its inner meaning? There is no guideline. You don't have to prostrate. The teacher doesn't ask you to prostrate. Only in the Bhagavad Gita it says in verse 34 of 4th chapter, Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. It's just an act of devotion, it's an act of surrender and devotion, not for the teacher, because the altar where one prostrates must not need that prostration. That's when the surrender is effective. When the person or the altar to which you are surrendering does not expect, want, or demand that surrender, you don't have to. You don't have to prostrate at all. It is not for anything else except a memory or a remembering for yourself, for one's own growth. One does that. How many times a day to do that? You decide. You decide for yourself. One time a day is enough, more than enough. I'm not going to do again. You can tell yourself that. And this question should have come in the beginning of the 3-month course. Now it's almost only 1 day is left. So maybe for the maybe for the next kind of a situation, maybe your decision will be useful. No problem. It is not for the teacher anyway. It is for one's own growth. And so, like you said, so that if it is becoming mechanical, that means that there is something else happening. There may be a resistance, there may be a block. That block should be loved up and looked into. That's the idea. One more question is there. Shastra points us towards living in harmony with the macrocosm, seeing everything as Brahma and recognizing the interdependence of the elements that sustain us. The ancients built perhaps the Karma Kanda, but today with so much disconnection from nature, I feel we have moved far away from that embodied relationship. Example, when we are studying the part about oblations and the Puraswami, I thought about how we override our natural something with suppressive medication. Natural emotions, something, I don't, it's too short a word for emotions, but something like that. Natural cues with suppressive medication as convenience, because we have to get things done, and don't allow nature and the body to find the rhythm. Isn't that almost dismissive of the presence of the inner Devata? You bet, absolutely it is dismissive. I do believe in the modern value of modern medicine. It keeps my mum alive, but should we not relate as alambana and not primary authority? How can I hold that balance without falling into activism? Sometimes when you say, oh, it's Kali Yuga, it's because we don't even listen to the body. Yeah, we don't listen to we have come far away. That's the beauty of Karma Kanda actually. It's a very embodied relationship with the earth and everything. And as we'll see in the September course with the Bhashya for chapter 3, there also an embodied ecology of being, a cosmic ecology is going to be unfolded very, very beautifully by Lord Krishna. It's in fact so beautiful, very, very lovely. And what does it say? Devan bhavayatanena te devaha bhavayantu vaha parasparam bhavayantaha shreyah param avapsyatha. It says that you are related to every single devata here, all the Adhisthana devatas, presiding deities, the presiding deities of your face, your nose, your mouth, your hands, legs, karmendriyas, jnanendriyas, everything are what? They are all also the Dig Devatas. They are connected to the Devata of the directions. They are connected to the Devata of sound. They are connected to the Devata of hearing. All these things. There is a connection everywhere. You are connected, and you enact that connection through giving oblations, through leading a responsible life of giving and helping those that cannot help themselves, like watering trees and feeding people who cannot feed themselves or have fallen into hard times or have chosen sadhu lifestyle. All these things is mentioned. And this verse, the 10th verse, I believe, in the 3rd chapter, says that all these are devatas. Why should we see them as devatas? We should see them as devatas because they are working for you. They are working for me. They are working for all of us. And there is a way of harnessing their energy, and how to harness their energy is by acknowledging their presence. Is to thank them for doing whatever they are doing. That is acknowledging their presence, praying. So you pray for them, and then they also pray for you. Well, who are these devatas? Exalted jivas. Exalted jivas with punya vishesha. And so they pray for you, you pray for them, you nourish them, they nourish you. And it's very clear. The river to us is not just a body of water, it's mother. River is the mother, sky is father. This is how we go about. And so if I pollute, the air is also seen as brother, father in so many Upanishads. So if I pollute the air, who has to breathe it afterwards? Me alone, or my children, or their children's children. Somebody connected to me is going to breathe the air. And then same thing with the water. If I throw all the factory emolents there, and then who has to drink that water? Me. I have to drink that water. And so therefore, this loop, this connection was very, very alive before. Even a blade of grass was not plucked without asking permission and asking sorry. That is the first mantra of the Yajurveda. Ishet vorjetva vagyavastho pagyavastha devo vasavita. prarpayatu shreshtatamaya karmane. This is the first mantra. You are addressing the grass. And this grass, you say, oh grass, I need you for a sacrificial act, some fire ritual, whatever it is, Agnihotra, something. Please allow me to cut you. And know that your sacrifice is not in vain. Mindlessly, I will not do anything. Mindfully, I will offer. And may this offering bring good to you as well as to me. This is a very beautiful way of going about life. All that is gone. We are neither there nor here. We have poo-pooed the Vedas. Oh, poo-poo, what is there? Nothing in it. And it's all just some mumbo-jumbo. And then we have thought ourselves very smart. We are away from our body. We are away from our mind. We are disconnected from everything. It doesn't take too long to reconnect. Just go stand by the Ganga, that's enough. Put your, legs in the grass. Somebody once came to one of the ashrams where I was there, and then this person said, I'm really, really depressed. I said, you can just go out of your cabin. Lots of trees are there. I hate trees. Okay. I didn't know what to say. I said, look, there is a patch of grass. You can just go barefoot, stand in the grass, walk on the grass. I hate grass. I hate anything green. And so, of course, there may be a few cases like that, but very, very few. Generally, the outdoors has a way of healing. And just being there, getting recharged, saying a silent prayer, connects one back. It doesn't take a long time. 2 questions. First question is about Brahmakara Vritti. Explain the role of the mind in Brahmakara Vritti. You had mentioned that it takes place in the mind but not of the mind. Follow up is that if it happens in the mind, then it could happen in both waking and dream state. Is that correct? As waking and dream state are considered one as per the Mandukya Upanishad. Brahmakara Vritti is a thought. Usually who thinks the thought? You think the thought. Here this thought is transmitted from the teacher to the student. It's a thought, it's the Shastra enveloped in the message of the Shastra, put in the form of a series of thoughts or a thought. And those thoughts are transplanted from the mouth of the teacher to the head of the student, to the ear of the student. And when that thought touches the heart, when you understand the meaning of that thought, it has to refer only to you, what you, the non-objectifiable, ever present, never absent you. Therefore the knowledge takes place. Because what is that thought? Ajnana nivritti thought. It's a neti thought. It's not this thought. When not this is removed, what it is shines by its own. When the thick forest of wrong notions are removed, then what is there? Actually you can easily see. So this is Brahmakara Vritti. And yes, mind is not the agent of this knowledge. If mind were an agent, then this knowledge also becomes finite. It becomes something for the mind to put in its pocket. I know German, I know this, I know that, I know Brahman. Brahman rhymes with German. That's all, And so this is exactly how it is. It would become finite. It is not finite. So the mind is a place, because of it being Chidabhasa, It is because it is made of sattva, 5 elements. It has the ability to become sentience through the borrowed light of consciousness, and in that sentience, that clear mind becomes a receptacle for the knowledge. It is never the agent of the knowledge. It's where the Jagat is recognized, is the same place where the Adhisthana of the Jagat is recognized. The mind has a dual function. To recognize the Jagat means Anatma, and also to recognize the Adhisthana, the truth, the source of the Jagat, Atma. That is why it gets confused, because in the cognition of Anatma, it is the agent. In the recognition of itself as Atma, it is not an agent. It is simply a receptacle. Then, can the knowledge take place in the dream? Oh, I wish. So easy. Yeah, even for the ashram, no infrastructure. No need to set up another Excel sheet for the next 3-month course. I can go on a holiday. Okay? Yeah, so no, nothing. Why? Just dream. Go home and dream. And if say people say, no, I can't dream nicely, too many noises and all. Okay, come to the ashram, stay in your room, sleep, eat, dream. Yeah. 3 classes a day, 3 dreams a day, 3 dream times. Very easy. Even when the Upadesha takes place in the dream, when you wake up, you are going, not, it's not clear. We saw that in the, Yatha Adarshe Dadrishe Pariva Dadrishe, that verse in that mantra in the Kathopanishad. In the waking state alone, it is clearly understood in the Kathopanishad, it says, and in the dream state, it is hazy. In the sleep state, of course, it's not recognized at all. Therefore, what? Wake up. Wake up. In the waking state alone, it is as clear as a tranquil pond without air or wind blowing on it. So, the dream state is the same as the waking state in the Mandukya Upanishad in a different capacity. In a different capacity is it is a different capacity, a different context, because the waking is also dream-like. We considered this also dream-like. Okay, because we are living in a Paramarthika reality, or we are being encouraged to live in that. From which standpoint, Vyavaharika, Pratibhasika, Swapnavastha are all one and the same. Second question, you had mentioned that moksha is not karma phala, it is purushartha. Can you explain the role of grace in moksha? That's what the Viveka Chudamani also says, that the grace means, grace is nothing but your own purva punya. Moksha is not the result of punya. What is the result of punya? Gaining a particular body is the result of punya. Otherwise, we are very lucky to have a human body. We could be like the dog and cat fighting under the Guru's chair. I told you about that in Anekatti ashram. The whole day they would be fighting, but they would go inside, not one sound. Only after the final prayer was uttered and Swamiji got up, a low garlic, it would come from underneath, and you had to shoo them and go there. And then they would just go there was a path. Go on the path, it would lead to the dining hall, they would continue their conversation right there. Yeah. So thank God we have a human body. Thank God all this makes sense. This is grace. Grace means there was enough punya to get a human body, but that it could fructify is the grace of Bhagavan. That somehow I get crashed into human body. Sometimes you just are trying to get into the train or the bus. It's about to move. You're in a big metropolis, Mumbai, somewhere like that, Delhi, somewhere big city. And then you finally make it. The door almost closes you and cuts you in half, but you go through it somehow, and then as soon as you set foot on the train, it moves. That's what happened. As a disembodied jiva, maybe perhaps one was thinking, what shall I, which desire do I have the most? Maybe there was a great desire for ice cream, and I was saved just by, what do we say, by the 100th part of a split of a hair. I was saved from being what? A ice cream seller, because love of ice cream means surrounded by ice cream I have to be all the time, pushing a gadi or being in one of these fancy shops and always making some what is that, putting some chocolate sauce and vanilla sauce and strawberry sauce and making some concoctions of ice cream. How else can a jiva be around ice cream? Bacteria. The milk is full of bacteria. So I could be some bacteria in the ice cream, reborn. But somehow I got into the human birth train. Somehow. One leg was hanging out, but somehow I made it. This is the first grace, Manushyatvam. Second grace, Mumukshutvam. Many Manushyas are there. But most of them are behaving like monkeys without a tail, restless, going here, going there. But somehow I desire to be free. That desire to be free and that notion of bondage which is pricking me is already there. So, next one is what? Mumukshutvam. This is also great grace. Even in the same family, nobody in the family would have heard Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita, at least people, Upanishad, nobody knows. That you have to study Upanishad in order to be free, nobody knows. That one is bound, nobody knows. And in this kind of a family, one child born keeps on talking moksha, moksha, moksha as soon as it can talk, and then wants to find an ashram. Mumukshutvam, again great grace. That punya fructified in order to set me on the right path. And mumukshutvam also, how long I can flounder by oneself. One has to know that one can get help, one needs help. So the third M is what? Maha Purusha Samshrayaha. Getting in the fold of, getting into the Sharanagati of Mahapurusha, Guru. Guru Prapti, Manushya Janma Prapti, and Mumukshutva Prapti, Guru Prapti, these are considered great grace. It's all grace anyway. Grace is your own Punya Phala, Punya Karma, nicely gift wrapped with a bow tied on it. Oh, then what is my role? You just put a finger when Bhagavan is tying the bow, that's all. That's all you do. And so, incredibly lucky to be born a human being. So now, once the stage is set with the human life, with the Mumukshutvam, with the Manushyatvam, then and the Mahapurusha, all this is there. All one has to do is be led. One leads a life where all these things fructify into moksha. One leads a life of dharma, one leads a life of responsible karma, one leads a life of the active pursuit of jnana. This is very important. Even as you leave from here, you have to catch on to some Arshavidya teachers and keep listening. Everybody has online classes. YouTube is full of Vedanta from Arshavidya teachers. Don't keep changing the lineage, because the same thing may be taught in 100 ways and then you don't want to get confused. Keep listening. Keep listening. The more you listen, the easier it is to understand the mithyatvam of the whole Jagat and the satyatvam of oneself, which is Atma. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतङ्गमय। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ।